Okay everyone, welcome to this quiz preview video lesson. Make sure you have your paper and pencil out ready to copy. Now reminder that this exact worksheet that I'm going to work on right now in the video lesson is the one that's due, or the one that's been assigned as the worksheet. So make sure you copy everything down so you can turn in the worksheet as your assignment, and you're also preparing for the quiz. All right, so here we go. So the first thing that we always do, always do, is identify the name of this assignment, which is called Polynomials Quiz Preview. Okay. Now the instructions are important here for you to follow because each number here has a different set of instructions. So the first one here says simplify each sum. So we know it's a sum because it's multiplication, all right? So remember, addition, excuse me. Outside each parentheses, we have a 1. Now, thankfully, each 1 is a positive 1. So when we multiply everything to the inside, right? We multiply all this to the inside, nothing's going to change except the parentheses is going to be gone. So we have -7, -5n squared, -n squared, plus 8, plus 8n squared, and plus 5, right? Nothing changes except the parentheses. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all my n squares together, right? So I have my n squares together. So let me -5n squared, -1n squared, and positive 8n squared. Right, so I'm going to write all of those together. So I'm going to start with the bigger one, 8n squared minus 5n squared minus an invisible 1n squared. So I'm left with -7 plus 8 and plus 5. I do that because look what happens here. Those are like terms, and those are like terms. So I could do this in the calculator, or I could do it in my head, right? 8 minus 5 is 3, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So we get 2n squared, right? A -7 and a positive 8. 8 minus 7 is 1. And then 1 plus 5 is 6 plus 6. And that right there is our solution. Look at that. Right? So I added, right? It says simplify each sum. Okay? Perfect. Let's go to our next one here. Our next set of instructions say simplify each difference. Now this is slightly different because we're going to subtract. Difference means subtract. So again, we're going to put a 1 in the front and a 1 in the front here. Now this positive 1 is not going to change anything inside this huge parentheses here. It's going to stay exactly the same. So this is going to be 9k squared minus 11k to the 4th plus 9 minus 10k to the 3rd. Now the only thing that's going to change here is I'm distributing this -1. And when I distribute -1, everything, all the signs are going to change. So this -12k to the 4th is going to become plus 12k to the 4th. This -1 is going to become plus 1. This -5k to the 3rd is going to become plus 5k to the 3rd. And this positive 5k is going to become -5k. See? So I have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my biggest exponent, which is k to the 4th, 11k to the 4th, and 12k to the 4th. So I'm going to write those down together. -11k to the 4th plus 12k to the 4th. Okay, and I can cross them out here to make sure that I have everything in order. Next, I'm going to do k to the power of 3. I have negative 10k to the power of 3, and I have plus 5k to the power of 3. So negative 10k to the power of 3 and plus 5k to the power of 3. And boom, boom, look at that, that's gone. Next, I'm going to do 9k squared, right? If you notice, I'm going in order from smallest exponent from biggest exponent to smallest exponent. And there's no other 9k squared, so I'm just going to simply write plus 9k squared. Cross that dude out. Next, I'm just going to do just regular k, which is minus 5k, right? Which was right here. And that dude's gone. And finally, I have my 9 and 1. Positive 9 and a positive 1. Now I do that because look what happens here. These two are like terms. These two are like terms. And these two are like terms. So a negative 11 and a positive 12, different signs. 12 minus 11 is 1k to the 4th. Okay. Negative 10 and a positive 5, different signs. 10 minus 5 is 5. Negative 5k to the 3rd. I bring down my 9k squared to the power of 2, right? I bring down my minus 5k. And 9 plus 1 is a positive 10. How about that? And that right there, kiddos, is my final solution. Right? So remember, when you distribute negative 1, everything inside changes. When you're multiplying and distributing negative 1, all the signs, right, of the terms inside the parentheses change. And then just combine like terms. Okay? Next, the instructions say, find each product. Product, kiddos, means multiplication. So we're going to multiply, right? So this is a binomial times a binomial, right? Two terms, 1, 2, times two terms, 1, 2. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do my monkey face. 7k plus 2 and 4k plus 1. So I do, let me get this out of the way here, lower it a little bit here so I have room. Oops. Look what I discovered there, the answer, right? So let me block it out here so I have space. All right. So first eyebrow, 7k times 4k is 28. 7 times 4 is 28. K times k is k to the power of 2, because remember I have 1s there. 1 plus 1 is 2, right? Next eyebrow is 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2, right? Nose, 2 times 4 is 8k. Mouth or chin, right, depending on how you see it, 7k times 1 is 7k. Just like that. Now if you notice here, right, if you notice here, my nose here comes together. Look at that. 8k plus 7k is 15k. Just like this. And then this 28k squared is going to come straight down and go in the beginning. So this is a positive 8k, 15k. So 28k squared. See? This 28k squared just came down right there. And then this positive 2 is going to come down here at the end. So plus 2. See? This plus 2 just came down right there. So this is my solution right there. Right? A binomial times a binomial. 28k squared plus 15k plus 2. All right. Next, we're going to do this trinomial, 1, 2, 3, times a binomial, 1, 2. Now on this, we can't do the monkey face, but we can do is box multiplication, right? We remember box multiplication. So here I have 1, 2, 3 terms. So I'm going to write 1, 2, 3 lines. And here I have 1, 2 terms. So I'm going to write 1, 2 terms. And then I'm going to remember that here I'm going to write multiply, right? I'm going to multiply. So we are going to multiply, and we're going to put in all our terms. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 2p to the squared, 7p, and positive 7. 1, 2 terms, 1, 2 terms. 2p to the power of 1, right? And a negative 10. Look at that. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to multiply. 2p squared times 2p is 2 times 2 is 4. P to the power first to the p to the power second is p to the power of 3. Okay. 7p times 2p, 7 times 2 is 14. And I forgot that this is actually to the power of 1 as well. And p times p, 1 plus 1 is 2. 7 times 2p, 7 times 2 is 14p. Okay. Next, I'm going to do 2p times negative 10. 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. P to the power of 2. 7p times negative 10 is negative 70. P. And finally, 7 times negative 10 is negative 70. Now what's great about this is the first term and the last term always just come down by themselves, right? They just come down by themselves. So they come down as 4p to the power of 3. Now, what's cool about doing box multiplication is look what happens here. Oops. Do a little thinner here. So what happens is you get like terms. This box and this box are like terms, right? Let me do this instead. P to the power of 3, and let me change here. So this term and this term are like terms because they're both squares, power of 2. See, look, they're connected to each other. So a positive 14 and a negative 20 are different signs, so I got to subtract. 20 minus 14 is 6, and it's a negative 6 because negative 20 is bigger. Negative 6p to the power of 2. Right? Now, these two are together here, see? Because they're both p. Look at that. Those two go together. So again, positive 14 and a negative 70, they are not the same sign. So 70 minus 14 is 56, and it's a negative 56 because 70 is bigger. 56p, and then like I told you, negative 70 just comes straight down at the very end, like that. Look at that. Perfect. And that's our solution for number 4 using box multiplication, right? Perfect, perfect, perfect. You're going to see a problem like that in the quiz for sure. So we got 4 down, 2 more to go, right? Of kinds of problems you're going to see on the quiz. Okay, next we have division. Divide, the instruction would say. So we're going to divide. So we're going to remember that we're going to take our divider, which is x minus 2, and we're going to make it equal 0. And then we're going to get x by itself by moving negative 2 over as 2. And we're going to get x is equal to positive 2. So this positive 2 is what's going to go in our box, just like that. Then we're going to highlight our coefficients, our regular numbers, and our divisor, what we're going to divide, as positive 6, negative 10, and negative 4. Now I got to make sure that I have everything in order. This is x to the power of 1. Let's see, x to the power of 2, x to the power of 1, and no x. Okay, that looks good to me. So now I'm going to write down my divisors. 6, my coefficients, negative 10, and negative 4, just like that. And then I'm going to draw my line all the way across, and I'm going to draw my little arrow that comes straight down, telling me that I must bring 6 down. Okay, I must bring down 6. Next, I'm going to multiply. 2 times 6 is 12, everybody, 12. A negative 10 and a positive 12, different signs. 12 minus 10 is 2, positive 2. 2 times 2 is a positive 4. So I have 4 here. A negative 4 and a positive 4, different signs. 4 minus 4 is 0. So we're gone. Right? So I'm left with a 6 and a 2. Right? So this 6 and a 2 need something. So you see here, x to the power of 2. 1 less x to the power of 2 is x to the power of 1. So 1 less is x to the power of 1. So I'm going to write it right here. And you see this 6 is going to go right in front. So 6x to the power of 1. So 1 less to the power of 1 is 0. So that means that this 2 right here is going to get no x. That's just going to come down just like this. And that is our solution right there. Look at that. Right. So when we divide 6x squared minus 10x minus 4 divided by x minus 2, we get 6x plus 2. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Last one here, kiddos. We're going to divide here once again. Right? Divide here once again. So again, step 1 is I'm going to take my divisor here, and I'm going to r minus 5, and I'm going to set it to 0. So opposite of minus 5 is plus 5. I'm getting 5 by itself, r by itself, and I get r is equal to 5. So 5 is what's going to go into my box here. All right? 5 is what's going to go into my box. Next, I need to highlight my divisors, my coefficients. So here I have an invisible 1. I want to put that in there to make sure. So I have invisible 1, I have negative 6, and I have positive 28. Look at that. So I got to make sure I go in order. R to the power of 3, r to the power of 2, r to the power of 1. Wait a minute, it's not there. So that r to the power of 1 is going to be 0. So I'm going to put it over here. R to the power of 1 is going to be 0. Because I got to include it. I can't leave that dude out. Right? I can't leave that r to the power of 1 out. So I have 1 is to the power of 3. Negative 6 is to the power of 2. 0 is to the power of 1, and finally just 28. Right? And I draw my line, I draw my little arrow here telling me to bring down 1. And now I'm going to multiply. 5 times 1 is 5. Right? Different signs. 6 minus 5 is 1, negative 1. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Right? 0 and negative 5 are different signs. 5 minus 0 is 5. Negative because 5 is bigger. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Oops. Negative 25. 28 minus 25 is 3. And that right there, kiddos, is my remainder. That's why I'm going to separate it just like this. So 1 less than r to the power of 3 is r to the power of 2. So I'm going to write r to the power of 2 right here. And then I'm going to assign this dude r to the power of 2 right there, 1. Next is -1. So I'm going to write -1. And that guy's going to get r to the power of 1, right? Because I'm going down. R to the power of 2, r to the power of 1. Next is -5. And that's going to get no r. And finally, I have this poor little dude that's a remainder, which is a positive 3. So I'm going to write +3. But since it's a remainder, I got to write this r minus 5 under 3. So under r minus 5. And that, kiddos, is our solution for number 6. Right? And you're definitely going to see a problem like this on the quiz. Right? And that is our quiz preview. Right? So make sure that you rewind in order for you to have gotten everything that was written down, in order for you to have understood everything that was written down, so you can turn in this assignment. All right? Thank you guys for being here. Good luck on the quiz. See you next time.